What if I told you the truth about the deal I just closed? $1.9 million purchase price, and the net cash flow to me is only $630 a month. Why would I do that deal? How is it going to look in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Is it even worth it? If you're looking at deals that you're struggling to pencil, struggling to cash flow, maybe you're looking at them the wrong way. Check out today's episode. I know you're going to learn something from it. Guys, last week I got the first mortgage statement on that dental office I built, and it was a little bit depressing. Here's why. The mortgage payment is about $8,800. Of that, $6,800 is going just to principal, and about $2,000 is going to paying down the debt. So after we paid all the bills and the mortgage and everything, we only cash flowed about $900 on that deal. I own 70% of that deal, so really cash in my pocket is $630. But I also need to pay for a cost segregation study. I need to pay for new doors. I got to repaint the building. And I just plunked down, $60,000 for the down payment, my side of the down payment. And so I'm getting $600. It's not very exciting. It's not very fun. We're buying these things for cash flow. We're buying these things so that we can retire. And you hear people talking online about all this phenomenal cash flow that they're making and et cetera, et cetera. So why did I do this? And I want to break down how this deal actually does get exciting and the game that I'm playing and why I chose to buy this deal, even though it's only making $630 cash flow on a $1.9 million deal. Pretty poor. So imagine you're standing next to a 10-foot tall, gigantic iron wheel, okay? It's got a spoke in the middle, but it's just sitting there. You walk up to this thing. Maybe it's even bigger than 10 feet. Just huge, massive. Imagine the biggest wheel you can imagine. And you start to push on this wheel. And you push with all of your might, and it moves maybe like 2 inches, 3 inches. But you keep pushing, and you keep pushing, and you keep pushing. And after a while, the wheel goes all the way around one revolution. You continue to push. You continue to push. It goes on the second revolution. It really isn't any easier than it was, but you keep putting in the effort and you keep pushing on this wheel. It goes around 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 times. At some point, what happens with the weight of that wheel and the mass of that wheel? Well, what was so tough and what was working against you in so much when you're first pushing on it is now working for you, right? Because the mass of that wheel and the weight of that wheel is starting to work for you. And now you're pushing the same amount, but you're getting one revolution with far less effort, right? This maybe is moving like 3 inches, 4 inches, a foot per second now. It's like really starting to go. And you're pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And eventually you can kind of stop pushing it and it'll still spin for a while. And then you just push it every once in a while and you push it every once in a while. And you're actually working less hard than you were and you're getting way more results out of it. And that's how it is with really anything. Like you think about, you're gonna hit the gym. You get in there and you're sore and you're tired and you don't wanna do it and you look in the mirror and you look no different, right? You don't see any visible change because you worked out for a day or a week or even a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. You may not see results for 4, 5, 6 months, 12 months, depending on your body type. It takes a while. It takes a lot of effort pushing on that wheel without getting any results. And it's the same thing with real estate. Pushing on that wheel, that looks like, all right, well, I'm gonna take a course. I'm gonna learn about this. I'm gonna take classes. I'm gonna go to networking events. I'm gonna talk to brokers. I'm gonna make offers. I get rejected. I get turned down. Maybe I get something under contract, but I can't get the financing. I can't raise the money. And it's just a real grind to get the wheel going. But after it goes around a couple of revolutions, maybe you close your first deal. The second deal is a little easier to close. The third deal is a little easier to close. I think I've closed dozens of deals now at this point, and closing a deal, I don't want to say it's still not a struggle. There's still hardship there, but it's not nearly as hard as it was when I was first pushing on that wheel. And that's the truth. And so breaking down this dental office, it's kind of like pushing the wheel, right? So I got it on there. I started to push on it. I've come around my first revolution, which is, 1 month of collecting rent, and I made $630. Wow. Who cares? And honestly, I didn't even make that. I got to keep it in the account because I'm going to have other expenses that are going to crop up. But as I continue to push on that wheel, and it isn't even necessarily me physically pushing it anymore, because I've got some things on my side now, right? I talked about paying down the principal every month. So $2,000 a month, every month, that number grows a little bit. On top of that, the rent goes up every year. It's built into the lease. I've got a 10-year lease on it, and every year that lease goes up by 3%. And then, it goes up by 3% on top of 103%. So it doesn't go to 106%, it goes to 106 point something percent. And it keeps compounding and keeps compounding and keeps compounding. And so I want to go through these numbers with you, because people, when they see you next to this spinning wheel that's just spinning around and just this impressive thing, like, wow, look at how big this wheel is. And they ask you, like, how did you get that wheel spinning so fast? Was it just one gigantic push? Like, which push was it that worked? Which push made the wheel spin so fast? And you kind of have to laugh at that, because it wasn't one gigantic push. It wasn't one specific push. It was months and months and years of pushing on this thing, fine-tuning it, continuing to make that thing spin and spin to get it to where it is now. And everybody looks back at it and says, wow, that's impressive. And how did you do that? And they want to know, well, was it this specific tactic or that specific tactic? It's like, it was a bunch of things. But the biggest thing was, I kept pushing. I kept persisting. I kept trying. And go back to the dental office with me. So 5 years in, we're talking $3,000 a month in positive cash flow. So it's gone from $900 a month to $3,000 a month in positive cash flow. That's $36,000 a year. Plus, you've paid the loan down by $100,000, and the value of the building, because the rents have been increasing, has gone up by $500,000. So you have $500,000 in equity with $36,000 a year of cash flow off of a $60,000, $70,000 investment. That ain't bad, right? And that's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking month one, I only made $600. I'm thinking 5 years down the road. Let's look at it 10 years down the road. Remember, this is a premium location. This is a place that everybody wants to be. James Island, South Carolina, right outside of Charleston. Really, really right. There's a Publix across the street. It's on Folly Road, the main drag there. So I believe this is a irreplaceable piece of real estate and will continue to appreciate. But let's just say, for this example, it's just going up by 3% per year because the rents are going up by 3% a year. 10 years in, the cash flow is now $5,280 a month. Now it's generating $60,000 a year in free cash flow, plus paying the mortgage down. And that mortgage stays the same, right? That mortgage is still $8,794 a month. Except the equity 10 years in is now, closer to $1.7 million. $1.7 million from 500 grand. The flywheel's really, really starting to turn now. The loan balance has gone from, well, let's talk 20 years down the road. Let's double it again. Okay, 20 years down the road, we've only got $2,300 going to interest. The loan is almost paid off. $6,500 a month is going to principal. So you've got, whatever that is, $75,000 a year in debt pay down, which is amazing, a year. The $1.36 million original loan balance is now $456,000. The rent payment has gone up by 3% a year and is now $20,756 a month. Right now, the rent payment is $11,400. But over 20 years with 3% escalations, it goes to $20,756. And in 10 years, if this dental office leaves and I got to replace it with a new tenant, I may be able to even get higher rents. I don't know what it's going to look like in 10 years. The free cash flow is now $10,000 a month, over almost $11,000 a month. So I'm getting $120,000, $130,000 a year in free cash flow. And the building is worth $4.24 million off of the NOI. So $4.24 million with about $500,000 worth of debt on it. $500,000 worth of debt. So you've built equity of $3.7 million, plus you have collected hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash flow along the way. Everybody, thinks you're brilliant because you know what? While you were pushing on this wheel, You decided to buy another one and another one and another one. You don't just have one property. You've got 10 of them because you learned how to do this. You learned how to push the wheel. Every deal becomes easier and easier and easier. Now think about this. You got 10 properties that you're 10, 15, 20 years into. You got $3.7 million in net worth in one, times that by 10. What's that? $37 million. Your cash flow is $11,000 a month on one, times that by 10. You're making $100K a month, 1.2 million a year in free cash flow, not counting, paying down your debt, not counting that your portfolio is growing by 2 to 3% a year. 2 to 3% of 37 million is a lot. That's like $600,000-$700,000 a year in growth on the value of your buildings. Everyone is looking back and they're seeing that wheel just flying, just spinning, and they're like, wow, this dude is brilliant. How did he do it? How did he do it? And all you did was you started to push the wheel. So what does that look like for you? If you're in a business where you don't see that this flywheel is going to, like maybe you're pushing a really small flywheel. For me and my construction company, I was doing bathroom and kitchen remodels and additions. It's like, that thing's only going to spit off $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year. It's not going to have a ton of residual value, and it's not going to organically grow. And it takes a lot of work. I got to spin that wheel every single day, all day long, 8, 10, 12 hours a day to keep that thing spinning. And if I stop within 6 months, that wheel's going to be at a dead standstill. Whereas with a bigger wheel, commercial real estate, I may only have to go there and push on that wheel like once a quarter, once a month, once every 6 months. It depends on where it's at in its life cycle. But it's not nearly the effort of driving an operational business forward. So how do you get that wheel to turn around one time? It's different for everybody, right? Success is not a straight line that we can just measure. Most of the time, it's very squiggly and it stays at the baseline for a long, long time before it takes off, right? Until you get the weight of that wheel working for you. But if you never start pushing on that wheel, if you never get that first revolution, that second revolution, that third revolution, you're never going to get that thing spinning effortlessly and spitting off cash flow, spitting off equity, spitting off net worth, spitting off tax savings, all the great things that real estate can do for us. It's never going to happen if you don't get there and start pushing on it. So what I did was, the step one is I started to educate myself. I have a course, it's 96 videos, and it lays it out A to Z on how to buy commercial real estate, focuses on multifamily, which is really the best first stepping stone into the commercial real estate world. I used to sell this course for $2,000. Then we just offered it only to Deal Room members. We didn't even sell it, which is part of the Deal Room subscription. But right now, I know there's a lot of people out there that they're interested in this stuff. They want to get the wheel turning, but they're just not sure. And they want to learn a little bit more, and they want to educate themselves a little bit more, and they want to look around and see if they can find opportunities and see if this is worth it. So right now, what we're doing is we're taking that course and we're offering it for $400, $397 to get the course. And what I hope is that you are going to go through this course, you're going to see the value of it, you're going to see all the tools, and it's going to make sense to you. You're going to see the kind of money that you can make in multifamily real estate, and then we're going to talk. And you're going to jump into the deal room and plug into a network of capital raisers, investors, mentors, coaches, partners that can make your deals happen faster, easier, and quicker for you. But you got to get started. So if you're looking to get that wheel turned around its first revolution, hit me up, shoot me a DM. I'll send you the link. You can pick up this course for $400 and get your feet wet, start pushing on that wheel and educating yourself on how to do this stuff, because that vision, it can become real, right? As you start to see, you may have an opportunity right there in your hometown, right in your backyard. You just don't know how to structure it. You don't know how people are making money with it. You see people buying and building and owning commercial real estate. I promise you, they're not doing it for their health. They're not doing it for free. They're making money with those deals. And you can too. And the first step is understanding, what is that deal worth? How can I make that deal work for me? What will it be worth in the future? Is this a risk that I want to take on? Is this a workload I want to take on? Is this something that I want to do? So if you're there where you're like, hey, I'm really, really, really interested in multifamily. I'm not ready to fully commit, but I want to get started. I want to take a step. I want to push on the wheel. I want to get that first revolution going. I'm going to put some some investment into my own education, because I know I'm a winner. I know that if I put my mind to something, I can make it happen. Hit me up. I'll shoot you the link to the course. I'll jump on a call with you and see where you're at and see how we can help you get where you're going. All right, guys, have a great week. Talk soon. Peace.